We begin with breaking news. There is new information tonight about a young girl found murdered after a possible satanic ritual. This could be the clue to solving a mystery.
Well, for 2 weeks, that young victim, murder victim, went unidentified. Today, we told you about the arrests of suspected MS-13 gang members there. And tonight, we know investigators are looking closely at a missing persons case out of Jersey Village for answers.
A 15-year-old girl missing since January who may have gotten caught up with gang members involved in satanic rituals.
Miguel Alvarez Flores and Diego Hernandez Rivera smiled and waved at the cameras during an overnight court appearance. This morning, they were more composed. According to court records, a 14-year-old girl says she was kidnapped by the two, held against her will in this apartment on South Gessner, and sexually assaulted. She told police Alvarez Flores, nicknamed Diabolical, was the leader, her captors MS-13 gang members, and they worshipped Satan. They called Satan the Beast, and another girl named Genesis was also at the apartment. When Genesis criticized a shrine dedicated to their satanic beliefs, she disappeared. When Genesis criticized a shrine dedicated to their satanic beliefs, she disappeared.
Well, we turn now to a story that is getting international attention. Two men accused of keeping young girls hostage, killing one of them in a satanic ritual. Now, we first broke this yesterday morning, and tonight we have learned there is a third victim who was fortunate enough to escape and is now back with her parents. We've also learned that both men confessed to killing the 15-year-old who was executed and then dumped on the street. Tonight, we're learning more about that victim, hearing from her mother for the very first time. Eyewitness News reporter Elisa Rivas joins us live with this all new at 6. Elisa?
Gina, just heartbreaking. The mother of teenager Genesis Cornejo does confirm that it was her daughter, police say, was killed by the two alleged gang members arrested this week. She speaks Spanish and agreed to an interview on the condition of anonymity because of the violent nature of this crime. She says last week police showed her a photo of her daughter dead. She first learned her daughter could be in real trouble from one of her daughter's friends who says that her daughter had been held. She hopes the two alleged MS-13 members that police say killed her daughter rot in jail, as she says, or receive the death penalty. We are live tonight in Jersey Village. Lisa Rivas, 13 Eyewitness News.
We now have security camera video showing a missing Baytown teenager before she disappeared. This is video of 17-year-old Vanessa Macias as she's walking down an alley. Now, this was recorded at a Chevron gas station around 10:45 Tuesday night. The gas station is about, well, more than 5 miles from where she was last seen leaving her high school Tuesday afternoon.
A warning for parents tonight in the Bronx after a frightening attempted luring near schools involving several men. Police say 4 men inside this truck tried to lure a 13-year-old girl inside. It happened in the Pelham Gardens section. Here's Lucy Yang.
The picture is grainy, but the writing on the side of the truck, we're told, says Empire Architecture Group. Tonight, police are looking for the men who were riding in this white pickup and who tried to lure a young girl to their vehicle.
Will lead them to a missing 18-year-old girl from the northwest suburbs. Kiana Galvin was last seen leaving her home in South Elgin back in May, but now police are looking at new leads. CBS 2's Sandra Torres explains.
With every flyer and every photo, Fiona Galvin wants to keep her daughter's story alive.
Doing everything you possibly can to get her face and her name out so that people possibly see her, can let the police know.
It's been 6 months since 18-year-old Kiana went missing. South Elgin police say they're working with multiple agencies to try to find her. Just 3 days ago, they served a search warrant in a home in the area.
Additional leads and information to the whereabouts of Kiana.
And even though those efforts bring some comfort to the family, the ultimate goal is to bring her home.
We want her home, and somebody's got to know something.
We're not going to give up searching for her until we find her.
And police also tell us that in the next few weeks, 2 billboards will go up with her name and photo to bring more attention to the case, one in the South Elgin area and the other one closer to Chicago. Live in the newsroom, Sandra Torres, CBS 2 News.
Tonight, though, an accused human trafficker, sex trafficker, expected in court tomorrow morning after police raided a $1 million home and found 8 women allegedly being held against their will. Now, this all started with a terrifying 911 call.
I wondered if I'm in a very bad situation and I need to get out. And I was planning on leaving today.
Okay, so you and the girls dance for money at this house?
A disturbing call to 911 from this upscale home in Sandy Springs.
I'm in a very bad situation and I need to get out. I was planning on leaving today.
A 20-year-old woman saying she and 7 other girls are being held against their will.
Did you say you're in a house full of girls?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody threatened to kill you if you leave?
Mm-hmm.
Who's threatening to kill you? One of the girls?
No, our boss.
That alleged boss, Kendrick Roberts, who's now charged with false imprisonment and trafficking of persons for labor.
Sandy Springs police say Kendrick Roberts lured women to the house he was renting to work in the modeling industry and so-called advance their careers. But at least one of the 8 women police and the FBI rescued from the house says she was in a bad situation and was being held against her will. Take a look at the fancy cars that still remain on the street right now, a convertible Mustang, as well as this Mercedes-Benz. Police say these are all signs of this illegal industry.
Dismissing the other charges.
A shocking turn of events in a Fulton County courtroom. A judge throws out most of the charges against a man accused of human trafficking. Sandy Springs police arrested Kendrick Roberts earlier this month after a woman called 911 saying she and 7 other women were being held against their will.
Well, officers rushed to a $1 million home in Sandy Springs where the woman said she was being held captive. Police removed evidence and they charged Roberts with a list of charges, including human trafficking.
Fox 5's Patty Pan was inside the courtroom when that judge dropped the charges and announced Roberts will get bond. Patty, what more do we know here?
Well, in addition to dismissing all the trafficking charges, this judge did grant Roberts $80,000 bond during his arraignment and preliminary hearing today. Now, she went on to say that she didn't know whether she was listening to a civil case regarding breach of contract or a criminal case involving trafficking and false imprisonment, but said based on what was presented to her, she found probable cause on 3 charges, 2 counts of false imprisonment and 1 weapons charge.
Dismissing the other charges.
After almost 2 hours, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Jesse Law dismissed all but 3 counts against Kendrick Roberts.
Breaking news in North Harris County at this hour. Right now, authorities are looking for the suspects who tried to abduct an 11-year-old boy.
Frightening incident. Let's get right to Eyewitness News reporter Chauncey Glover, who just spoke with that young victim. Chauncey?
The incident happened right here along Star Peak Drive. The little boy lives right down the road. He's 11 years old and is a 6th grader here at Hill Intermediate School. He was walking here to this school Friday morning around 8 o'clock when that white work van pulled up next to him. Now, I want to show you these pictures of the van. This is the van police are searching for right now. Now, the boy says 3 Hispanic men were inside of the van and tried to lure him in. He says they had some type of dog catching net of the van and tried to lure him in. He says they had some type of dog catching net that they were trying to put over him. Take a listen as he describes that very scary encounter.
I looked behind me and then they just said to not run in Spanish. When I was walking, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to get kidnapped, and I didn't want that to happen. So the only thing I could have done is ran home.
Many people think human trafficking only happens in big cities, but today police are warning students in Owasso. It's happening right in their small town. New tonight, Randy, you're showing us what's being done to try to keep kids safe.
Exactly right, Angie. Owasso school officials learned that human trafficking is taking place right in their small town, and they jumped into action. They invited an Owasso police officer and some state troopers to come talk to the students to show them how to protect themselves from being taken. Police believe about 24 people in Shiawassee County are some way involved in human trafficking. They held a series of seminars to warn all the Owasso High School students about the dangers of becoming a victim.
A 19-year-old woman is facing charges for her alleged role in forcing a teenage runaway into sex slavery. Good evening, I'm Bill Baessa.
And I'm Sarah Donchi, and for Lauren. Denise Coronado is at the center of this investigation. Tonight she is charged after a 14-year-old girl says Coronado forced her to have sex with dozens of men. Channel 2's Robert Arnold is live outside the Harris County District Attorney's office. Robert?
Prosecutors aren't saying much about this case because the investigation is far from over. They do say, though, this arrest came after the 14-year-old was able to escape and lead officers to 19-year-old Denise Coronado.
Denise Marie Coronado.
19-year-old Denise Coronado wasn't present when a prosecutor laid out the charges against her. Specifically, prosecutors say Coronado helped take a 14-year-old runaway hostage.
She is going to positively identify this defendant as one of her captors who first forced her to have sex for money.
Prosecutors said the teen was grabbed off the street, first taken to a wooded area, then to a motel, and forced into prostitution.
Met up with approximately 26 unknown males for dates.
Prosecutors say Coronado threatened the teen and burned her with a cigarette. She is charged with compelling prostitution by threat or force. Joanne Music says what happened to this girl highlights the dangers runaways face on the street.
We're actually finding that that's more and more common. That's how pimps are selecting their victims. They find, a child, a woman, a man, whoever that has, little ties to their family.
Happening now, a Tarzana woman vanishes without a trace. Tonight, her sister and friends are pleading for help to find her.
That 26-year-old's car was found in a Goodwill parking lot in Reseda. That's where we find Eyewitness News reporter Eileen Frere live tonight. Eileen.
Mark and Michelle, family members are very worried about her. The last time they saw her was yesterday, last night, more than 24 hours ago, shopping with her sister at this Goodwill store here in Reseda. The missing woman's name is Maricela Garcia. She's 26 years old. We talked with her younger sister, Sarah, who she lives with in Tarzana. Now, Sarah says that she and her sister were shopping at the Goodwill last night around 7:30. Maricela told her she was going outside for a smoke. When Sarah went outside shortly after, her sister wasn't there. She looked around, waited for her, but she did not return. She says Maricela left behind her car, her purse, cigarettes inside the car. They say she has a cell phone, but it has been shut off.
This behavior is completely spontaneous, and it's not like her. She wouldn't just leave me there. She wouldn't leave her car. It just doesn't make sense.
We haven't ruled out anything. It is odd that she's walked away, but we're still investigating it. And what I am saying is that there's no evidence of foul play that we've determined at this time.
Maricela's sister Sarah admits Maricela was a drug user, but she says she's been clean for the past year since she moved in with her. Police say they have checked surveillance video from the Goodwill store here in Reseda, and they say there is no evidence that she was kidnapped, no evidence of foul play at this time, but they say they're investigating and they're following up on any tips. Maricela is described as 5'5" in height and 120 pounds.
A major development in the search for a missing Yuba College student. The truck that she was driving has been located in unincorporated Live Oak.
Hopefully this young girl's okay and they bring her home safely.
That's Alicia, otherwise known as Allie Yeoman. She was last seen 4 days ago. Good evening, I'm Sam Shane.
And I'm Christina James. New tonight, CBS 13's Sharon Rajay joins us live from Yuba City.
Eileen Frere live tonight. Eileen.
With the latest on this search. Sharon?
Sarah, Christina, a major development tonight. The truck was found about 10 miles north of here. This was the field they were searching through earlier today. But that truck, according to Sutter County Sheriff's, was found unaccompanied by anyone inside that vehicle. There was no phone inside, and the search continues.
This could be our child, our daughter, so we need to not be quiet.
The community of Gridley, with a population of 7,000, is desperate to find 20-year-old Alicia Allie Yeoman.
It needs our help.
Investigators revealed new details today about the search for missing Gridley woman Allie Yeoman. 8 days after the college student was last seen, her family speaks out for the first time.
CBS 13's Macy Jenkins is live outside Sutter County Sheriff's Office with this developing story tonight. Macy?
Well, Christina and Sam, this search has taken investigators all over this area, from Yuba City to Live Oak and then to Gridley. Well, we learned today that this search for Allie means that investigators will leave no stone unturned, and they are even not ruling out the possibility of a kidnapping. Silent tears from a grief-stricken mother as Gridley Police Chief Dean Price reads the family's plea for their daughter.
Allie, if you're hearing this, we have come together from all across the country. We love you.
It's been more than a week since 20-year-old Alicia Yeoman was seen leaving a party at this Yuba City home. Now investigators say they're considering all leads and not ruling out the idea of a kidnapping.
I'm Chris Hurst.
And I'm Jane Jadhun. A Charlotte County girl is safe tonight thanks to an Amber Alert.
Tonight, 2 of the child's relatives are facing criminal charges in connection with her disappearance. WDBJ's 7th Tim Saunders is tracking new details in Charlotte County.
It took just 12 hours from the time an Amber Alert was issued for Annabelle Richardson until she was safely located. Tonight, deputies in Charlotte County are celebrating the program's success.
First at 6, human trafficking bust. Several arrests tonight in 7 separate cases. The details are disturbing. In one case, prosecutors say a woman had been attacked in front of her baby. CBS 4's Carrie Codd live in Miami with the story. Carrie.
Rick, the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office tells us they're prosecuting more and more of these human trafficking cases here in criminal court. Today, Catherine Fernandez Rundle announced the arrest of 6 men and 1 woman on human trafficking charges.
Jakira Peak.
20-year-old Jakira Peak is accused of human trafficking. Investigators say she worked with this man, Alexander Brown, to prostitute a 16-year-old on Miami Beach. In court Thursday, prosecutors said the victim was forced to pay off a debt.
She had to pay off a $2,500 debt, and this defendant trains the victim on how to be a prostitute.
They're ugly facts about an ugly business.
Miami-Dade State Attorney Catherine Fernandez Rundle said since her office opened its human trafficking unit in 2012, they've built more than 400 cases.
The selling of women and our children by modern slavers into a life of constant abuse and pain. They are dehumanized, they are beaten, and they are drugged into submission.
On Thursday, prosecutors laid out 7 arrests in several separate cases outlining horrific details.
In one case, the victim was as young as 16 years old. In another case, the victim was brutally beaten in front of her 18-month-old baby.
Fernandez Rundle spoke about one case where an out-of-state woman was told she was going to Disney World, only to wind up forced into prostitution in Miami.
They lured her into Miami, where they forced her to have sex.
With an unusual investigation into a possible attempted abduction. Philadelphia police not only have video of the alleged incident, they already talked to the suspect. What they don't have is the child reportedly targeted or the child's caretakers. Action News reporter Sarah Bloomquist live in Center City now with the latest for us. Sarah.
And Monica, police are telling us late this afternoon that they've not made any progress finding the adult who had this infant, this baby in a stroller inside this Dunkin' Donuts at 15th and Locust.
We begin tonight with a possible attempted abduction inside a Center City Dunkin' Donuts. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington.
And I'm Jessica Dean. Video shows a man putting his hands on a baby before a couple intervenes.
Eyewitness News reporter Alexandria Hoff is outside police headquarters right now with why authorities need to talk to that couple. Alex.
Yuki, Jessica, this is a unique scenario because police say they know who the actor is, but they don't know who the victims are, and they need for them to come forward to help piece this case together. This surveillance footage taken Sunday morning shows a couple with a child inside of the Dunkin' Donuts on the 1400 block of Locust Street when a stranger suddenly approaches and places his hands on the baby.
What we see on video is what appears to be an attempt to abduct the baby who was in a stroller.
Police were called to the scene by a third party. When they arrived, the adults and the small child were gone. But the man in the video was nearby and temporarily detained by police. While it's not uncommon for people to approach babies, investigators believe this man displayed a level of aggression. The man and woman with the child react and chase the suspect outside. He was still there when police arrived and was temporarily detained. And police will likely take the case to the district attorney, but without the child's parents, it would be very difficult to move forward with any sort of a criminal investigation, a criminal case and charges. If you know the parents or witnessed this incident,
if you have any information about either of them, if you have any information about the man in the white van, contact local law enforcement.
You're asked to call the Special Victims Unit.
Get in touch with the FBI or Prince William County Police.
If you have any information about this young woman, to please tell authorities.
If you've seen her, call LAPD West Valley Division.
If you recognize this van or if you see it out, please call police immediately. Crime Stoppers is now offering a $5,000 reward. That's the latest here, reporting live this evening from the north side of Houston. I'm Chauncey Glover, 13 Eyewitness News.